This year, every student has to take home a class pet.
This is my shot. Are you nuts?
Coming in at number 9 is Yellow Submarine. Now this one may seem familiar since a little known band called the Beatles made a song of the same name as well as a movie. Yes, I love another abandoned video. The minds of all these Disney higher-ups really intrigue me because it's like, how do you decide on what to cut and what to keep? Some of these projects, had they been greenlit, could have gone down in history because you know Disney films do tend to become classics. Imagine it was never Sleeping Beauty but like the Sleeping Prince or the Sleeping Handsome. Okay, no, that has zero ring to it. It's a very good thing I'm not on the Disney exec team because I'm not coming up with anything. Now what is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Eamon Hassan and you are watching Disney Channel. Okay, you're not, but you are about to watch the top 10 abandoned Disney projects part 3. I was so good at that, you saw that? I could be on Disney Channel. Now starting us off at number 10 is The Search for Mickey Mouse. Now, this project was a pretty big deal since it was meant to celebrate Mickey Mouse's 75th anniversary, so I thought it was only fitting that I started with this one. So the plot was meant to follow all the original characters like Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and Basil of Baker Street. I don't know why Daisy Duck got cut from the squad, but evidently she did. That's a bit savage. Now the movie would follow the group on their quest for finding Mickey, and while on the adventure they were going to run into a bunch of different Disney characters like Peter Pan, Aladdin, Alice, etc. Now how boss would this film have been? Cameos from everyone. But apparently the reason the project got cancelled was due to lack of ideas. The writers were finding it really hard to think of an interesting story that made sense whilst integrating all the character cameos. Honestly, good plot or not, I feel like people would have eaten up a movie with that many cameos and they should have just made it anyway. Coming in at number 9 is Yellow Submarine. Now this one may seem familiar since a little known band called the Beatles made a song of the same name as well as a movie. The original animation came out back in 1968 and the plot centers around a music-loving underwater place called Pepperland. It's home to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and the whole town comes under public subsidies. Coming in at number 9 is Yellow Submarine. Now this one may seem familiar since a little known band called the Beatles made a song of the same name as well as a movie. The original animation came out back in 1968 and the plot centers around a music-loving underwater place called Pepperland. It's home to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and the whole town comes under attack from the music-hating Blue Meanies. Thus the protagonist goes on an adventure to enlist the help of the 4 members and bring them back to Pepperland. That was a very general summary of the film. I just wanted you guys to know what happened in it because I sure as shit did not know. So Disney wanted to create a remake of the movie, but there was a slight problem. The original was super trippy to the point it actually really terrified kids, and the concept art for the remake would have had the same effect. Robert Zemeckis was one of the creators of the remake, but since the movie Mars Needs Moms tanked, which he also created, he was given no artistic freedom after that. Now the effects of the movie were going to use stop motion technology like the Polar Express for example, but the whole project just got shelved for being too dark. At number 8 we have Disney's America. So back in the early 90s, Disney planned on building this theme park near Haymarket, Virginia. It was meant to showcase the history of the US and it was meant to have thousands of hotel rooms and housing, 9 themed areas, and 2 million square feet just for retail. The areas were meant to be Crossroads USA, Civil War Fort, Native America, President's Square, Family Farm, Enterprise, We the People, Victory Field, and State Fair. The behemoth of a project with a $650 million budget was meant to open in 1998, but that did not happen. Upon its announcement, it had a lot of support from political officials like Governor Douglas Wilder and George Allen, but opposition to the project was a lot louder than expected from Project History America. They believed the theme park would desecrate the ground over which so many men fought and died on, but then again the park would have honored the country's history, so was it really desecrating it? I don't really know. The American Farmland Trust opposed the project as well, and even nearby towns started changing their opinions. By 1994, Disney announced they would not build the park, and that was the end of that. Filling at number 7 slot is Gigantic. So I love how Disney takes all these old fairy tales and modernizes them for our time. For example, tales like Snow Queen aren't even recognized anymore despite that being the premise for Frozen. Now Gigantic was an animated movie project of Jack and the Beanstalk, which I'm only now realizing there isn't a Disney movie for. Is there? there isn't. Now the plot was set during the age of exploration in Spain and was gonna revolve around Jack and his friendship with 11-year-old giant Irma. And she would have apparently been such a character. She was described as feisty, fiery, and a lot to control. Unfortunately, no matter how good the